right, we got Dr. Mike. Doctor reacts to Cartoon Network medical scenes. So shows off of Cartoon Network.
Nickelodeon, South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy. We watched a lot of cartoons for their medical accuracy, but now we're about to watch Cartoon Network. Let's get started.
What are these strange protrusions?
At Dexter's Laboratory. What y'all know about that, baby?
Protrusions.
Y'all don't know nothing about no Dexter's Laboratory and DD.
Might be chicken pox caused by the virus varicella.
Huh?
Oh, and they're itchy. That looks like chicken pox. You want to avoid scratching chicken pox, because then
That's what it looks like? That was my first time seeing chicken pox on a real person.
create a bacterial infection on top of the chicken pox.
What is this pox of a chicken?
Can we change smallpox and chicken pox away from using the word pox? I don't like pox.
What's pox?
It actually sounds like what the sound a chicken makes.
Look at all those chickens.
Pox, pox!
Well, a long time ago, a group of evil contaminated chickens escaped from jail
Why did the chickens have to be in jail, though?
and started to break into children's houses where they pecked away, leaving huge, itchy pimples. And if you scratch them, you'll turn into an evil contaminated chicken.
Why do you have to be evil? I guess because you're pecking at kids at night. Okay, fine. You know, they actually used to have chicken pox parties back in the day. They would gather the kids into a room when one had chicken pox, and they would have them all get it at the same time. Because chicken pox in adulthood is much worse than it is when you're a child.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
I do not want to be an evil contaminated chicken.
Who wants to be an evil contaminated chicken?
Then don't scratch!
Why she used to move like that? I remember she used to move. Why she move like that?
Contaminated chicken.
Wow.
Calamine lotion works great here.
Dexter didn't eat his veggies.
Is that a veggie or is that like a pine bush sitting on his thing?
Ew.
What?
How are you a scientist that don't like veggies, bro?
There's a decrease in my vegetable area. In order to change this situation,
He's gonna get something, bro. He's gonna take some medicine that has the same nutrients as a plant or vegetables.
alter my atomic DNA structure. This requires drastic measures.
Dexter always is so extra. Like, doesn't like veggies, starts creating device to radiate his tongue to create a better sensation for peas.
Decided to deploy a reasonable
This man's a
amount of
scientist that doesn't like
gamma
vegetables.
Just enough to get the taste buds level.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wants to eat veggies to decrease risk of cancer, creates device to make veggies taste better, ends up with cancer. We should create a meme. I never know why in cartoons, whenever there's radiation, they showed the x-rays. As if like we with our eyes can see through people when they're radiated. That's not how it works. There's been people who've been exposed to acute radiation poisoning, like those who are involved with like nuclear waste and Chernobyl and such. They might get really bad burns, but they don't become see-through. Dexter, you know, if you want to eat more veggies, you could just do the same thing that I did with Ryan Trahan when I donated $100,000 to him. I got "Eat Your Veggies" tattooed on his
Dr. Mike, Hubba Max. Hubba Max.
do that. Shut up.
What, eating McDonald's every single day?
Like, keep the lettuce.
I don't know
on
if
there
it's an
at
ad or
least.
not.
You can do that. Shout out Ryan Trahan.
You know, there's something
Our Teen
going
Titans?
on in your stomach region
going on?
there.
Oh, this is nothing. It's just Perry.
Perry? Is that a teratoma? A tumor that has multiple different cell lines in it? By the way, when they open teratomas, sometimes they find hair, teeth, all these like weird pieces. Some people say it's like a retained twin.
Yes, my adorable little space parasite.
Oh, that's a space parasite. See, I don't know if that falls under the international classification of diseases that I've studied. Abnormal growths on the human body need to be investigated because anytime you have unusual abnormal growths, that means there's some kind of cellular division happening, and that could be a sign of cancer. Not necessarily saying everything's cancer, but if it's growing, it needs to be investigated.
What are you doing?
Apparently, I'm making friends.
A parasitic relationship means that the thing that attaches to the host ends up harming the host for its own benefit. On the opposite end, a symbiotic relationship is when something attaches to the host and actually helps it and helps itself. Like those little birds that fly around the hippos. They're my favorite example of this.
This is so great. Yeah. I love sharing my nutrients. I love how weak they make me feel. Why didn't I get a parasite years ago?
You know what parasite freaks me out? Those intestinal worms that live inside your body that end up consuming a lot of the food that you consume and start growing.
Look, I remember this episode too. Then Starfire got mad at him. They said Robin is jealous.
Massive lengths. I've seen the videos of them being taken out of
What is that, a
individuals.
rope?
I've never taken one out on my own, and boy, is it scary. We do have medications to poison them and make
Comes
them
out
fall
your
of
ear?
body. But man, pinworm, hookworm. Just look at the pictures of them.
The reason we're here is because my mom
Talking
is having
balloon.
a flatulent transplant today.
A flatulent transplant. Does that mean a flat?
I didn't know balloons had
The
eyes and
flatulum
eyebrows.
is an organ only balloons possess. They regulate the airflow through our balloon knots. She couldn't find a compatible donor, so I decided to give her one of mine.
Is that like a sphincter in human terms?
My dad's a surgeon and was due to perform the operation.
We got a balloon surgeon, bruh.
You knocked him out when you burst through that
I didn't know
door.
balloon could do surgery.
Actually, family members shouldn't operate on one another. They're gonna get emotional. They're gonna make bad decisions.
Well, save your mother.
No, I meant you could just go down the corridor and find another surgeon that would...
Balloons don't have openings on their mouths, so that's not gonna do anything.
You gotta open it from the bottom. You gotta open her bottom or his bottom, whoever she is or he is, and open the bottom, then put that tube there.
Those are
From a little
outdoor
air
balloons.
tube.
There's a Gessel P wave, but the PR interval is quite short. And there's a QRS complex, but then the T wave has a notch.
Bless you, Dr. Mike.
Oh my
Bless
God.
you, Dr.
In
Mike.
Russian, if you sneeze after you say something, it means na pravdu, which means that you're telling the truth. So clearly, I'm telling the truth.
Flatulum transplant. Any ideas?
Try this. Elmore Biology.
Whoa! Ice cream cones have ribs?
There! Flatulum transplant.
Whoa, I want to label these. Okay, number 1, I'm going to call that the brain. Number 2, I'm going to call that kidney. No, I'm going to call that double liver. Number 3, I'm going to call the kidney. Number 10,
No, what's this? They got two brains then? You got a brain up top and a brain at the bottom? But what is this?
I'm going to call that the pancreas. 5, stomach. 4, that should be the
What's number
kidney.
7?
Remember, kidneys filter your blood. So when people say, like, I have a detox, no, your kidneys are doing detoxing and your liver.
What can you see?
You're wrong. You're wrong, and here's why.
Hey, look.
The most factually accurate thing that's been said in this entire episode.
It's all invisible. How are we supposed to do this operation? Ah! He's gushing air everywhere!
Oh my God, he's flatlining.
He's farting.
Here, grab the flatulum!
I have a hot take. I think this is not that much more medically inaccurate than Grey's Anatomy. Oh!
What's Grey's Anatomy?
We're losing him! Give him CPR!
Stop farting
At least
him.
they're doing chest compressions. They don't even do that on Grey's Anatomy when there's a flat line.
I think the anesthetic's worn off.
How can you tell?
My insides are pouring
Ew.
out.
What the?
How'd you clip him? There you go. You know, we actually do that when a patient has really bad bleeding. I remember a gunshot wound came into one of the local hospitals I was working on, a level 1 trauma center, and I had to plug his bleeding.
What are you doing?
With your finger? You just did that with your finger?
Having lunch. The operation was a complete success. Dude, weren't you wearing a watch?
They made that joke because some doctors actually drop objects and close the patient up with the objects in. But now we do a very thorough count. We also don't wear watches when we perform surgeries. That doesn't mean mistakes don't happen. Instruments have been left inside patients. Look at these scans.
Let's start with your symptoms. Mild fever.
Okay, that's a good way to take a temperature.
Glowing pink color to skin.
I guess that could happen. Not glowing, but pink.
No, he's a
colors.
crystal gem. That's why he's glowing, because he's a crystal gem. He has a crystal on his belly button.
It could happen.
And this is your chart. There's a clear history of numerous fractures, like here on the skull.
Well, you know, the human skull does have sutures, suture lines on it, so that's normal.
You seem to have made a series of miraculous recoveries, but that doesn't change the fact that you experienced trauma. You've recovered physically, but have you recovered mentally?
That's actually a good question, and I'm surprised Cartoon Network's talking about this.
Adverse childhood experiences or childhood trauma can have a lasting impact on how your body responds to stress.
Why is this so good and so accurate?
It can affect your social, emotional, and physical development.
Facts.
When humans are in crisis, the brain releases the hormone cortisol. I wonder if your body is reacting to a gem equivalent of cortisol.
Oh my God, this isn't a doctor at all. It's a fax machine.
Hello,
Dr. Mike, stop it, bro. Ed and Eddie.
Well, if it ain't Florence Dork,
You don't know nothing about this. It's OG right here.
Rubinstein.
Oh, that got me. Eat smart, silly hat day Friday.
Nurse Assistant Ed, it seems one of our students.
Before Michelle Obama messed up school lunch.
Why are they trying to vaccinate Kevin only?
Lucky for him.
Dr. Mark, you sponsored by Pernod Richard. I didn't know you drank that.
Today's booster shot day.
So the reason we give boosters is because when you give a regular vaccine, the immune system has a level of response, and some require multiple doses in order to keep that response up or to create a lasting response. So we call that a booster.
It's no big deal, dude. It's just a dumb needle.
He's experiencing some hyperperspiration there. That's quite concerning.
Stick out your arm, you big baby. No way. Back off, man.
And why does this shot have a golf club at the bottom? Where are you gonna insert that, champ?
Hold it right there, mister. I should have known you'd exploit.
I've never seen a human being in the medical profession wear a white coat with a tie over it that is being held on by the ID tag. Out of all the ridiculous things we're about to see in this Ed, Ed and Eddie clip, that's the most ridiculous.
That's Ed and Eddie for you.
Thanks you, Eddie,
Oh, yeah? What for?
for helping Kevin conquer his fear of needles by letting him witness the safe and easy administration of a real booster shot.
Oh, no, you don't. Not me.
See, as a doctor, I get mad at clips like this because now they're scaring children. They're putting in their head that they should be scared of vaccines, but they shouldn't. They're very benign.
I was wondering. I was scared. I ain't trying to get no needle,
I
bro.
make it fun. Like I do the whole airplane thing. Like
And it's
this.
gonna be sore a few days later too. No.
Isn't that bad? Yes.
Oh, what is that?
Maybe if we draw a little
Cold
face
sore?
on it.
Pimple?
No. Still
I don't
bad.
know what I'm looking at. Is it on the eye? Is it a sty? Is it on the lip?
I've got it under control. I looked online for natural remedies and I found this root. All I have to do
What is
is
it,
rub it
Ginger?
on my face and it'll take the swelling down overnight.
So you know what that could be? That could be a blocked salivary gland, and there could be a salivary gland stone. In those cases, we actually prescribe a patient to suck on lemon drops because that forces more secretion to come out. The treatment is called Sialagogue,
Sialagogue.
but it doesn't need to be a drug. It could just be a lemon drop.
Dude, that root did not help.
It's worse than ever.
What are those? Are those fingers?
That reminds me of that clip of the guy looking at the shoes. What are those?
What are those?
Those are my chocolate.
You did this?
Dr. Princess!
Do you know what it
Adventures
means
on her.
she's hooked up to these? Do you even know what that one does?
I don't know what any of these things are because I would think that's a respiratory machine, but then it has like some sort of like EKG wannabe thing that's not really an EKG. There's a toothbrush. The patient's not even really intubated. They just have an oxygen mask on.
And the creepy breathing one? And that yucky dripping bag?
Well, that dripping bag is probably an IV, but it should be a little higher up.
I'll do anything to help Susan.
Anything?
Yes!
Good, because I'm tired of doing double shifts. Put this on.
That's not how it works in hospitals. Although on July 1st, when all the new residents come in, that is how it works.
The truth is,
What is how it
That's
is?
how it works in hospitals. Although on July 1st, when all the new residents come in, that is how it works.
So July 1st, anyone can be a doctor at a hospital.
the truth is, I'm not technically a doctor. I don't even have a medical degree. I just came in here one day for an x-ray, and my first name is Doctor. So,
Okay, where's the next patient?
In here, doctor.
My toes taste like candy corn. Is that bad?
The fact that you're tasting your toes is probably worse than the fact that they taste like candy corn.
Why that? Why so?
Whoa.
Why is that?
How do you feel, Ice King?
Because toes are not supposed to taste like candy corn. It's supposed to taste like toes.
This looks like those miracle chiropractors on TikTok that are just like, oh, your allergies are bad? Fixed.
It's really over. I get this pain in my paw, and
Aw.
it just stays in my paw.
The
Oh my
splinter.
God, the fox has a thorn in its paw / hand because it has fingers.
That's a splinter.
Ah, wow. You're a healing genius, Doc.
You know what's funny? That even bad doctors get a lot of credit because if a bad doctor gives you wrong advice, you're still probably gonna heal anyway because the human body is amazing like that. So even bad doctors have good outcomes, sad to say.
Regular show.
Why is it that whenever I see a food court, I get excited? I've eaten at the fanciest restaurants in New York City, across the world, but food courts at malls, I get hype. Comment down below what's your favorite.
Because there was that one underrated food court at the mall, or that restaurant at the mall in the food court that no one talks about, and the food is bussin'.
Food, cuisine.
No one knows about it.
For me,
Because no one tries it. What do you do?
Lo mein, vegetable fried rice, General Chicken. Oh!
As a small business owner, your bottom
Dr. Mike's on something about Comcast? I didn't know you have that.
Oh, General's house. Perfect.
So what can I get you?
The death sandwich.
That sounds spicy. I'm thinking capsaicin level a billion.
To receive the death sandwich, you must first sign
Remember
this
this episode.
waiver of death.
Yeah, sure, let's
Why
do
not?
it.
I don't think you're allowed to sign a paper like that. We have to check with Legal, of course, but when it says something like, you can't sue me, that is not specific enough and too broad to be constitutionally allowable, or should I say legally allowable. I think that won't hold up in court. I think it's that you can't sue me if something negative happens to your health from eating death sandwich, then maybe.
Remember, if you don't eat it right, you die.
Yeah, wear a mullet and jean shorts. We got it.
We're in a mall with jean shorts?
Mullet. Mullet. It's a mullet.
Looks like it's time for a little payback. Let's see how they like it when somebody steals their sandwich.
Honestly, I think if a gumball machine swallows a piece of gum, it does stay in its system for 7 years because no one uses gumball machines anymore. So maybe that's what Grandma was talking about.
His only chance of survival now is to see my sensei, the Grand Master of Death Kwon Do.
So he's gonna give him milk.
He is the protector of the sandwich of life.
What's the sandwich of life?
It is the only known cure for the death sandwich.
It's like anti-venom.
One bite from the sandwich will cure him instantly.
All right, let's do this.
He looks like he's fine though. Like, I don't know how you check the vitals of a gumball machine, but he looks fine.
Come on!
So weird. Honestly, these days, all these like pseudo experts that are selling all their miracle supplements, they should just start selling a miracle sandwich. Call it like a superfood miracle detox sandwich cure. If you like Cartoon Network, you gotta check out the
Hey, shout out
Nickelodeon-
Dr. Mike, man.